welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Psychonaut Sessions, Ultraverse Edition, with the one and only, the king himself of creativity, Aaron Conaway.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I thought somebody else was here.
Shit.
Hello, folks.
Whatever. You are the king of creativity.
Well, thank you, Co-King.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are. We're through this initial stretch of Mantra here at issue 4. It's been a long journey.
It's been an insane couple of. If this is like 2 days or whatever, it's at least. Well, she's had at least 2 sleeps. So this is like 3 days in Eden's life, who's now Lucas. This is nuts.
It's a lot. I don't think I could be Lucas in life. That's a lot of activity.
Well, I mean, to hear his internal monologue, it's not easy to be like he's about done being Lucas in life.
He's a little whiny. He's a little whiny. I mean, come on. If you were projected into the most voluptuous, beautiful woman of all Ultraverse, you would be complaining too.
I'd have some issues, I'm sure.
I guess. Okay, well, this is a fun cover. I mean, and from my understanding, Mantra starts doing covers kind of like this that are almost like She-Hulk covers. You know, She-Hulk was almost like kind of like fun, comedic, like parody kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, this definitely has like an I Love Lucy vibe.
Yeah. And I actually kind of like that. It's like taking a different turn, a different spin. Whereas the book was taking itself really seriously at first, and now it's like, okay. So yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is the whoever did the cover, and I don't think it's the person that actually draws this book, signed on his chest plate. Scott and John.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, I was trying to look for the signature, and look, we're getting a little bit of Barry Windsor Smith's rune showing up. The highest paid person in Ultraverse lore, apparently, according to Dave Olbrich, probably they paid Barry Windsor Smith way too much to bring rune.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
And here we got a 40-page special to end this initial 4-issue run. So, buckle your seatbelts.
Let's do the thing.
Buckle your seatbelts. Hell yeah. God, probably one of the best action movies of all time ever.
Well, and the game version of it was a blast too.
Yep. All right, so Boneyard captured Lucas with the Infinity Gauntlet. Or
some dude did.
Some dude with something that looked like Infinity Gauntlet, and brought Lucas here to marry him, her, them. We got a different pencil. We still have Alvey, and we have Rob Phipps.
Along with Barb
Kahlberg. So Scott and John are not listed here. So somebody completely different did this cover. It doesn't really say color design Moose, but that's the color, not cover.
Yeah.
So I don't know what. But you and I have opinions. I actually liked Rob Phipps a little bit better.
I think it's more of a it's the switch. It's not that I don't like the art. This is the first time in these rereads that an Ultraverse book has felt like an image book. This feels like an image shot. This feels like a Larson riff from Savage Dragon type vibe.
Yep.
And I don't hate it, but it was just a big departure from what we've read so far.
Yeah, that is very true. It is very image-esque, and that's not necessarily why I like it. I think this person, as I was, I didn't mean to complain, Terry Dodson, but my critique, and the last one, is that Terry seemed to be really constrained doing sequential art, working within panels, and I feel like this guy is a little bit more comfortable to be a little bit more dynamic on the page.
That's fair.
That's just my opinion. We certainly, so kind of a pretty, I mean, this is very Image-esque. This is like, yeah, the cape and everything.
Yeah.
So apparently he wants to marry her because he works within the realm of magic. Magic is his thing. And by marrying her, he'll be able to have like the ultimate magic. So there's kind of this, I'm trying to get the light to be better here. There's kind of this like concept that has come up a little bit and will come up more in this, that Archmage meant to put Lucas in this specific body because this specific body actually was able, it's like a conducive host to the form of magic that she's bringing in. So there's something about Eve that actually, is very important in and of herself.
Right. Like genetic disposition. Because, well, I mean, that's even what, I can't remember if it's this page where he's saying it, but Archmage or Boneyard says, like, we'll breed, you'll have kids, and then I'll, like, take their magic will be, it's kind of like Luke and Leia having, or he didn't know about Leia, but the Emperor being obsessed with Luke once he found out Vader had a kid. Like, the Force is going to be so strong.
Yep.
Like, the magic is going to be so strong, and the kid they have together, that he can, like, take that magic from them and be even more powerful.
Yep. So, like how I was meaning with the art, just like there's a little bit more like experimentation with the way the panel layouts are done. The perspective here is way more exciting. Where
that
Terry
is a cool
Dodson,
shop.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like this person is like really going for it, but what's lame, so apparently this is the blade that Warstrike used to kill Lucas originally, and I guess it was given to Warstrike because he's like, oh my god, it's that blade.
Right.
It's the same blade. But this is how Mantra takes out Warstrike. It's complete out of a Disney cartoon. Leaps underneath him and grabs his cape and like basically trips him up. Like,
wait, that's not Warstrike, that's Boneyard.
No, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, but that's how.
No, I thought I missed some. I thought maybe in the panel above where middle panel there, I thought maybe that was Warstrike.
That's how Mantra takes out Boneyard, not by any kind of cool magic, nothing, just completely like the Abbott Costello jumps underneath and flips him around with his cape. So, and then of course we get Notch trying to come in and, do his Notch thing, which is useless. But he's starting to notice that, this Mantra person's recognized me a couple times, and like he's starting to suspect that this person is probably Lucas or someone else like that.
Someone that, yes, one of Archmage's soldiers.
Yeah. So he goes into the dungeons of the Boneyard and finds Archmage, releases him. And again, yeah, I'm like really enjoying the way that the figures are kind of moving a little bit more outside of the panels. There's definitely, it's just way more like this is a little bit more fun to move through. And we got some dreadnoughts here. We call them dreadnoughts, ladies and gentlemen, on this channel, where they're, we have a magical attack going on. Mantra wins, and basically takes off. Why does Mantra leave Archmage again? Boneyard will not slay me until he has leached my powers, but tell me which of my 12 warriors betrayed me. I don't know yet, but it wasn't Hazmath or Yon. I did not know who the Judas was, but I knew he was not you. Farewell, my daughter. And it's like, I'm not your daughter. So like goes down. I think it's
more of a, I think it's more they just need her to get away so that the Boneyard can't like marry her. Like they can't, her being here is bad.
Right.
I think they just need her out of this realm that they're in now.
And again, I mean, there's like this person, Rob Phipps,
Yeah.
Does not care about panels. Like everything is being broken out of the panels. It feels less constrained than Terry Dodson. So having fun with it. And also the inks don't seem as saturated. So I think Barb Kahlberg is adding a little something here. So the colors that Moose is doing, they don't feel as it's lighter.
Yeah.
It's a lighter color, which makes it easier to read. So we go back. One of the kids is playing Super Mario. She escapes, and the grandma and the kids are trying to figure out what's happening to mom.
I always wanted that.
Yeah,
I never had a Sega CD.
If you did.
Yeah, I never had one.
Never did too. I played it in the arcade. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so this is apparently Boneyard has its own dimension, and Mantra takes off to kind of regroup, figure out what's what. And there's like a whole city. That could have been a cooler castle, but it's fine, I guess. But this is a cool market scene.
I like this whole thing of like being in a fantasy realm. I dug.
Yep. And notices that she's like sticking out, so she goes into a bar. I loved this. So this is where like, look, that looks like Loki. It may be hard to see on the screen, but Loki, when Marvel buys Ultraverse, Loki actually becomes like one of the main crossover characters.
Huh.
So
this is like a year before that happens, isn't it?
Yeah. So Marvel, they knew Marvel was buying them like within a year. So this is like what, 4 or 5 months in. So I can't imagine. So maybe it's a coincidence. I guess it's just like a major coincidence.
Still, that's pretty cool. Well, and plus, I mean, any cantina scene is awesome, and that's essentially, I love a good cantina scene.
Yeah, it's really good. Really enjoy it. Of course, Mantra's wanting an ale, and this guy, she's getting roughed up by this guy who's like...
Well, it's not roughed up. It's just every realm. Even when she's not on Earth's plane, somebody wants to bang her.
Yep, but Mantra ain't having it now, and then is trying to leave, and then they're like, you need to, is going out the back, because the guy's like, what you want is, like, if you want where you want to go is out back, and she goes out back and walks into, like, a fucking slave auction. And of course they're just like, well, you need to be up there, woman, because she's scantily clad and a woman. And then there's this like fight that begins ensuing because the guards are trying to get her up there. Or if not, they're like, well, maybe we'll just do something with her ourselves.
Well, there's dudes up there too. I think it's more they want her up there because she doesn't have the emblem saying that she's a citizen.
Right.
And she's scantily clad and hot.
Yeah. But they get interrupted right before she's about ready to magic their asses by these two, like, incredibly fucking generic brute and babe looking motherfuckers. Like, these people are so fucking Image-esque. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
These people did not impress me at all. And I can't even remember. Drusilla is one of their names.
Well, they think she's Drusilla.
Yeah.
Their names both start with N, I think.
They call her Drusilla.
Yeah. To get her out of there.
So they're like, oh, hey, come with us and blah, blah, blah. And like make it seem like that they own her. So they like paid the guards to like walk away and like, Drusilla, what were you doing wandering off? Back on Earth, we just get a lady who used to work with
that coworker? Yeah, like the one that's covering for her.
Yeah, and then that's all it is like, how long can I cover for her? That was. I mean, I appreciate
three issues.
I appreciate the trying to feel like there's a reality happening in the other realm, but nothing's happening there right now. Like, we don't need that. And so these guys take her into this underground place or whatever, somewhere where it's like an armory, and essentially it's like an underground resistance trying to fight against Bone Mage or Bone Yard. Fucking Christ. Bone Mage, Bone Yard, Arc Yard, fucking all the fucking names. Cruel rules. All right, and so they're these generic fucking leaders are just, they're drinking together and just like, well, we kind of saw you and knew that you were special. Everybody was after you, so we feel like we could use you for the resistance or whatever. And then finds out like they were like drugging her.
Yeah, for a mercenary, Lucas has like zero self-preservation skills.
None. Like, this guy's been doing this for centuries, dude. I was thinking that myself. I was like, I understand you're in a body that doesn't know how to do all this stuff, but you do.
Right. Like, Archmage must have just been like, good God, you've burned through my budget of bodies. Like, dying constantly. Like, there's no... that's one of the problems I have. I have quite a few problems with this issue, but that's one of them.
Yeah, same. So they're like, well, we can't risk Boneyard breeding with a magic user, so they were just drugging her, and I guess they were going to kill her.
Yep.
But somehow Mantra's still able to work through the drugging and magics them up by burning some people, and then Boneyard shows up because anytime she uses magic, I guess it's like a beacon.
Right. It's like saying Voldemort in Harry Potter Book 7.
Yep. So they struggle a little bit, and apparently like Lucas's powers are null and void all of a sudden to Boneyard. And he just takes the mask and kisses her and she gets knocked out again.
Yeah. There's no way she's not like concussed with the amount of time she's gone unconscious.
Yeah.
It's comic books. That's fine.
Yeah, it is. Basically takes the mantra away, and for some reason gives the rebel resistance 1 full minute to get out of the room, which didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Right.
And during that minute, that he could have eliminated the entire rebel resistance. During that minute, Warstrike somehow magically teleports into another realm because he has some kind of magic amulet. Is it the mask? But it's like, where did this come from? Somebody
helped him. He says, like, he's got somebody magics him there because he talks later like they burned him because he can't magic back like they said he could. And I can't remember who it says, but. And now she's in her weird marriage armor. I don't. There's some kind of explanation that the other wives give, but I didn't fully understand it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because he says, compared to this outfit, my old armor was a nun's habit. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You are like just as naked, if not more, in the previous armor.
Right. All you had was a cloak and a mask. So, I guess?
It's like... That's hilarious. Okay, this is slutty to him, but the other armor is like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we getting an ad for the greatest comic of all time.
Yeah, that is going to be fun to reread with you.
Oh.
I'm going to be like, I don't have to bite my tongue if I have anything negative to say.
No, I want to hear the critiques. It's been a couple of years since I've read it, but I've read the series a few times since being a kid. All right, everybody's excited about the bald vampire coming because Barry Windsor Smith was a god. RoboCop 3, Genesis, that's pretty cool. This ad was weird to me. In Exiles #3, Tinsel dies for real. So it's like you're telling us what's happening in the book. And then in Exiles 4, the Ultraverse will be transformed forever. It's like, so
well,
Exiles
I'm presuming that, like, because this was since we're reading these in internal narrative chronology, like Ultraverse fans already knew what happened in Exiles 3 because that was last month. So
yeah, I hope so.
I guess
been keeping track.
There's no spoiler warning. There was no spoiler warnings back then. So
yeah,
I'm presuming that you already knew that if you were an Ultraverse fan.
I mean, this is November, and if I remember, Ultraverse was started in like May, right?
Well, I guess that's true. It depends on when Exiles started over when Mantra started, because we're on Mantra 4. So yeah, I mean, I hope it's not a situation.
I mean, spoiler alert, pretty much all the exiles fucking die. So there you go.
Oh, all right. I didn't know any of that. So
oh shit, I'm sorry. That's right. You never read Breakthrough.
I never read Breakthrough. I haven't read Exiles.
Damn it.
But now I know that Tencel dies in Exiles 3, so there goes the narrative.
Just forget everything.
I probably will. So that's fine.
All right, let's get through this. So these are all the wives. This is his harem of wives, and they're grooming her and getting her ready. It's like Emperor Ming kind of shit.
Right. And they're wearing her armor, old armor. Like they're wearing the...
Oh, yeah.
One of them's wearing the thing.
The mask, the cloak, and the... I did not catch that. Oh, she says it.
Yeah, I worry about you when you read these sometimes.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, this was 40 pages, and after reading all 4 of these issues at this one, I was just like, okay, let's
skim it.
Let's get through this. For some reason, he needs Archmage here to help, like, consecrate the marriage.
Facilitate something, yeah.
Yeah. So she's still able to use her magic, and it works on him this time because he basically pissed her off.
Right.
Archmage basically was like, you're unworthy, you're stupid, ungrateful, loudish, and then that makes Lucas angry enough that he just...
The magic is very Hulk based, so the madder he gets, the more powerful he gets.
Magic mad.
Then War Strike shows up.
Kick his ass, Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
I'll protect your rear, so to speak.
Just can't help himself.
Dude, he is a fucking... I can feel my wife wanting to burn this comic right now. A fight ensues. Mantra gets a hold of the blade. And this is where Archmage basically says, I had to rile her up because that's how she came to her true self, or whatever.
Right.
Mantra tries to go crazy on Boneyard, but Boneyard basically grabs Archmage and transports away. And he's like, honey, we have to go. And don't ever call me honey, whatever.
He looks so mad in that bottom left panel. War Strike's just angry.
Well, but in
she's
this
like,
one,
man, why are you yelling?
But this one, he's like back to being a creep because he's like, don't forget to send me some pictures of you in that outfit. I'm like, that is like ultra creepy, dude. Like that's frat boy kind of bullshit. That's crazy. No offense to
well, now, and Mantra is all like buddy with the brides.
Yeah, they're all besties. This is where, her costume transports back. Now that all makes sense to me. And then he's able to it's not working to get back to Earth somehow. These generic fucking people come up, and the girl is attracted to her, Narita.
Yeah.
Says goodbye, and then with Mantra's magic, so Mantra can reverse the spell that brought you here. So it's basically they both get transported away somehow.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story.
So here's where I landed with this before you turn the page into some stuff that I did dig.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned this in the 3rd issue episode, but this issue is insanely rushed.
Yeah.
This should have been like a 3-issue arc minimum.
Yeah.
Because they drop us into a fantasy realm. And I mean, that's what sucks, is like none of it's uninteresting. Like this issue is not uninteresting to me. It's just insanely rushed, so I didn't have time to care. Like you said, those 2 siblings, they could have been somebody cool to get to know, but I don't. I know they meet her. They meet her. They try to kill her because they have to save the realm, or at least to, defeat Boneyard's plan.
Yeah.
And then they're buddy. The other brides, they've got no problem with her, but they're just doing what they have to survive.
Yeah.
And she hates them, but by the end, she's like, oh, okay, I get it. We're cool. And it's like all of this, yeah, it feels like...
Yeah, she's like crying when they're partying.
Right. And like, exactly. And so this is what I meant by in the third issue episode, where like it feels like what Vertigo would do when it would be tying up a series.
Yeah.
Trying to fit a bunch of plot points into one issue.
And what's weird is that
the rush.
Yeah, because there's no sense that they're being canceled at this point because Mantra was a pretty good seller. In fact, Mantra ends up being one of their longest lasting characters.
Right. So I don't know, like, and maybe we'll see. Like, it could be the creators like shifted, and so it's a different creative team coming on, and they just want to tie. I don't know, but it suffers because of so much being packed into this.
I will say that like 4 issues was like the basic back then, right? Like if you were going to have a story that lasted like crossed multiple issues, 4 was like kind of the standard.
Yeah, this is before the 6-issue fits into a trade era.
Right.
But that's the thing, though. This isn't just one story. This takes place over 3 days, but they cram like 3 different subplots.
That's true, they do.
Into these 4. Like, this subplot is literally this issue.
Yeah, like, I probably would have benefited. So, yeah, I agree with you completely. The story itself, like, the overall ideas of the plot, I fucking love. But, like, the first 3 issues could have been 4 and allow a little bit more room for the characters to breathe a little bit more.
Or even 6, because like with those 2 other fellow mercenaries who were in the elderly farmer dude and the dog,
right?
We could have gone down that little narrative path for a little bit, and
and this itself could have been a whole series. This could have been a whole mini series that like we're in Boneyard's extra dimensional realm.
Yeah,
like there could have been so much to explore here, and I feel like we're not getting a whole lot. We got a Cliff's Notes version of a cool story. These 3 panels are all we really get in terms of like a feeling of setting.
Yeah,
and it would have been really cool to kind of Kyle Strom that shit.
Yeah,
Kyle Strom it up a little bit and like really explore, and the characters. I completely agree.
That, and I forgot to mention earlier that Rob Phipps's take on Boneyard is very Marvel's Deathlock.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that before. And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I'm not mad about it, but I don't know. I really liked the look of Boneyard in that first issue when we saw him kind of mostly on an astral plane. And then now he just looks like
Deathlock Strike.
Image.
Deathlock / Strike.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I landed.
Yeah, nothing really. Although there was a person that wrote in from Kansas City.
Oh wow.
There was a person who kind of had a little bit of a critique, but so this is the one critique that they allowed in here. This is fucking ridiculous. I have one little anatomical quibble about the Dodson Vey rendering of Mantra when she's in costume. I think they should draw her ribs. Considering Eden's terrific figure and her bare sides in the armor outfit, surely her ribs show at times.
That's
what
stupid.
The fuck? That's
dumb.
Yeah.
Well, that was
ridiculous.
like when Heroin Chic was the big model era, so I guess that person just wanted a waifish body. I don't know.
I will say we get Hank Canals credit, who was the line editor for this. Hank Canals ended up like writing almost all of Rob Liefeld's books at Image.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Old Hank Canals. Nothing really huge here. They're setting things up, bringing Barry Windsor Smith on, and breakthroughs coming up. Thank you, Diane. Unless anything you wanted to point out.
Nah, I didn't even read that part.
All right, and then we get a switch.
Woo!
So this was one of several covers. The way that they fucking introduced Rune into the Ultraverse was insane. Like you couldn't have had like a bigger build up for upcoming character and title than almost anything else. So Rune was by Barry Windsor Smith, and you were supposed to like basically get a segment of a cover, and this was like out of like 8 different comics, right?
I thought it was like 11 or 12. There's a bunch.
Yeah, and they all were supposed to fit together like a puzzle piece, and we get like oh, here it is. Nope.
It's 9.
This is it was 9. And they have a little bit of preview, and apparently this is not the first preview.
Yeah, this
is like
this didn't track for me at all. For being part 1, I was like, wait a minute, what? There's like a whole last chapter. I don't know. So there must have been like a 0 part, but then I thought all of this combined was Rune 0. I don't understand.
I don't know.
But I think this is why reading it internal chronology didn't serve us, because I would imagine the first part of this, like when it came out in stores, like was not Mantra 4. Like Mantra 4 came out after whatever that issue was.
Yeah.
But why this one's called part 1? I don't understand. But I definitely
they're saying last chapter here, so I guess they're referring to part 1, and this is part 2, maybe. And maybe part 1 came out in a different issue. Okay, so yeah, whatever. Okay, that's weird. So I don't know.
I
think it would be a good idea to like if I do get all these issues, we can like read all these in sequence.
Okay, yeah, because this gave me nothing. Like I dug the artwork.
Yeah. The artwork
story-wise, I was like, what is happening?
The coloring here is fucking fantastic. It works really well with Barry Windsor Smith's art, which is always fabulous. Although there is the critique that many of his faces look the same, but it's fine by me. But
that was my favorite part right there.
Yeah, right here.
That was my favorite part of the entire issue, and it's the last part. So I was like, "Damn it!"
Yeah,
but I didn't even care. The explosion sound effect cracked me up. Like, I love Sergio Aragonés.
He'll pay for this. That comic book company that publishes Magnor. Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Total. As much fun as I had in parts of this issue, I did have fun in parts, and like we've already covered, like it could have been great, but this was my favorite part of this issue.
You know, for being a collector of Gru, you should cover Gru sometime. That would be fun as hell.
Yeah, there's already a dope channel that does that, though.
Yeah, well, but our take would be amazing. Sergio is just like, he's a carryover from Mad Magazine, and like, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, carryover, but just his work, he's just a stellar cartoonist.
Yeah, I mean, he did both simultaneously, so not a carryover, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, just, man, yeah. Anyway, this is
a master. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
This one page makes it all worth it. No, it was good. I did like Phipps's art way better than I was liking Dodson's. It brought more energy, but unfortunately, like the writing chops just rushed everything, like you said, and it just was like, it was just like too much in a little bit of time, and it would have been cool to allow it to breathe. But
yeah,
woo, we're done with Mantra, and it looks like next we'll be heading back into Prime territory.
Nice.
So you and I can make
Prime.
You and I can make a decision if we want to, because I think the next segment, according to MarvelFandom.com, is like a whole bunch of sequential issues of Prime, like 2 through 5 or something. But you and I can make the decision if we want to switch that up a little bit to give us some breathing room. So
and if anybody, if anybody watching has thoughts, by all means,
please
comment. But we did kind of skip over, and I think we just decided we were going to with that Ultraverse Monthly. Like, the only note I really had, because it's essentially just talking heads, was that Al Baker is definitely a riff on J. Jonah Jameson mixed with like Morton Downey Jr. in reality, like real life.
Yeah.
So other than that, it was just tons of talking heads and trying to do like weird internal comic story, political rants, and yeah, it was strange. So I was cool just skipping it. I mean, I get the flavor it gave, but
yeah, it's very interesting to just have like a magazine that literally is from the Ultraverse universe to like pull you into the world building. But you know, in revisiting I was like, I don't know what it's worth. Like, we might refer to it in a future episode, especially when we revisit Hardcase. We might refer to Ultra Monthly, but as its own episode, I'm just not sure. But anyway,
I agree.
That's mantra number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe. Please head over to Aaron's information in the description. Buy his stuff. Support him. Please support me. We gotta take care of our retirement somehow. All right, thanks,
Read it
man.
all.
This has been fun. Y'all keep it safe out there. Keep it psycho.